Good afternoon, Safe Harbor Property Management. Marie Pettie, how are you?
I am great.
Good. It's good to see you on this Thursday afternoon. I'm Jennifer Noreen. They all know that probably by now. And I work for Beyond Brand Collective, and I work with Marie and her company on her marketing. Safe Harbor does property management. They're located in Lakewood, but they serve owners all over, like North King all the way to, or South King County to South Pierce County. And she is busy with as a property manager, but she also has expertise in real estate and is assisting a lot of owners during COVID with their transitions and evaluating their opportunities because of COVID. So Safe Harbor is not just property management; they are also real estate services. So I wanted to put that out there because I think that people are used to seeing your logo that says property management, and you are both. So. But today, the purpose of today is to talk a little bit about this year we just all got through. 2020 has been full of challenges, and I think we've all had unexpected good things happen, but also certainly hardships. So, Marie, can you tell the audience here just a little bit about what your perspective is looking back on 2020? And hello, by the way, nice to see you.
Well, nice to see you too. We had a lot of firsts, a lot of, like you said, unexpected things. We had terms that we'd never heard of, like social distancing and COVID-19 and PPE and all of these things that we had to get used to. And of course, we had to start showing properties virtually. We closed our doors to the public. That was strange for us. Now it's mandatory in our office that everyone wears a mask, no matter if you're there for a few minutes or whatever. Everyone that comes into the office has to wear a mask. We also saw things like COVID rental assistance, which, by the way, did really help a lot of our residents to be successful in paying their rent, which is great. Of course, a lot of the agencies now, the funds are actually running out. I don't know if that'll be replenished or what, but we had to do that, and we're just continuing to do everything virtually, pretty much, and that's kind of a good thing. We're able to, do a lot more, especially on the leasing side. Celeste is able to show maybe one property 1 hour, but the next 15 minutes she's showing another one. And she's not having to go to each property. So it's been a good thing in that way.
So there's some surprise efficiencies. I think everyone has been saying that there are some things that I never dreamed my team could do that. I never dreamed we could be this productive. I never thought I could do this with my kid on my lap. And I have a client that's been working from his car, and he was, he's a CPA, and he's like, well, surely I can claim my car now for my business because I've been working out of my trunk. So, I mean, it's just kind of funny, some of the things that have come out of the adversity. So I'm going to take you back just for 1 second. You talked about showing properties virtually. So are you referring to your role as a property manager? You're actually showing rentals. How are you doing that?
Yes, we use some of the FaceTime platforms like Skype or video chat, things like that, where we actually take our leasing agent actually takes them into the unit real time and shows them a 360 of the property, and they're able to get an idea of what the property looks like from that advantage too.
Wow. And have you done any of that on the real estate side as well, or are you just kind of gearing up for that?
We may have to do that, but on the real estate side, things are just hitting the market and selling so fast. Sometimes those sell, sight unseen, but
right.
These are the pictures that are online.
Sure.
So, yeah, speaking of real estate, we're still in a seller's market, which means that sellers have the advantage right now. Like I mentioned before, the property hits or lists, and then they're under contract within 3 days, within no longer than a week. So
and Tacoma has the fastest. I remember you told me this a while back that Tacoma has the fastest selling cycle in the country. I don't know if it still does today, but it did a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Tacoma, Washington, my little hometown. It's just crazy. It doesn't make sense to me, but
it's still considered the hottest market in the country. So it's been great, but I don't expect it to last, just because of the environment that we're swirling around us with, things that are happening as far as owners being able to keep their properties and evictions and things like that. So it's going into a buyer's market eventually, which means that the buyer will have the advantage, meaning there'll be a lot of properties on the market and they'll have their pick. So that's a ways out. I see that maybe in the next couple of years or so, because it takes a while to get there.
So is that because the inventory is shifting? Is that what you're saying?
Mm-hmm.
You think the inventory is going to come back?
It's going to come back with a vengeance, because properties are going to come on the market, of course, unexpectedly due to foreclosure or evictions or what have you.
Mm-hmm. Because you can only, because even when March arrives and you have to pay your rent again, you have to go back and fulfill the leases. It's not like you got free rent; you just got a delay. So
exactly, it was
rent side and on the. I don't know. Do you think that's going to affect property managers if people all of a sudden are not getting the assistance anymore and they can't pay their rent? So now property managers are going to move to sell. I mean, property owners, excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
Property owners will move to sell because they have a bad investment now, or do you think that will just be recycled with new renters?
There's always new renters out there, but then it depends on the goals and the mindset of the owner as far as how they, how much they can tolerate as far as, seeing what's going on out there. Are they still comfortable with having their property rented, or is it going to make more sense for them to sell it?
Interesting. And also just how many resources they have to kind of sustain them until they get real money coming in again. So are they going to sell or continue to try and figure out this rental business? So that's going to cause a shift there. And then it also sounds just like probably commercial and residential people are going to sell because they can no longer afford the home that they're in after the bubble we've just been in. It's some of the money has moved around and some of the economy has survived as far as the jobs go. Like my tech industry has been in some ways not touched, and a lot of us are growing because more people are coming online. But there's industries, the brick and mortars, the shop owners, so much of retail. I think you're right. I think we're going to see the ripple effect of the retail industry alone, all those people that are losing their jobs and not going to be able to afford their mortgages anymore. So
yeah,
very sad. Places like Pier 1 going out of business, and just there's some really sad things out in retail right now for sure.
For sure. So definitely a shift coming in eventually.
Yeah, and it's hard to say when it might be, and we hope that it's not soon, but how do you really know? So definitely a time to look at the next 6 months and kind of have a plan for what your strategy is, either personally or professionally. Kind of, how's this going to affect me, right? Who's not going to be affected really, because everyone either rents or owns, right? So everybody needs to be looking at their strategy, right? It's just
that's for sure. Yeah. I had a client that I'm working with this morning, and she lives in a 3-bedroom, 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath home, which she purchased in 2019. But she's looking at everything going on, and she's wondering if she should sell that and go into a smaller condo so that she can weather what's coming up, in the future. So so many things that are going on,
Yep. And I think too, people who have thought of buying and can scrape by and afford to buy need to buy and get secured into something they can afford, or something a little bit less than they can afford, frankly, or maybe an investment property that on the other side of things, someone that is thinking about getting into investments and isn't doing it, setting that up for themselves and getting a property manager and moving forward to do that, to kind of ride this out and see what happens. So, it's hard. When you don't know the timing, you can't really give clear direction, because
that's true. And then
with 9 months, there's still an opportunity. And if it's in 3, there's not, right? So,
and with interest rates being so low, it makes sense to buy and lock yourself into that that rate for 30 years and then, go forward. So
Right. Yeah. It's interesting times.
case by
Yeah.
case. Mhm.
So what else is going on with, so you talked about Safe Harbor and all the new language we all had to use, the distancing and the way you're doing business. And there's been some positive and negative. You've talked about the market. So what else is going on? I know that you're giving back, because I work with you, I know your giving back programs have grown this year. So can you talk a little bit about that?
Oh, as far as partnering with Farmer Frog and
Yeah. So
Mhm.
so actually that's, I guess, not new to this year, but it's new that we're talking about it. How
Right.
long have you partnered with them?
Oh my goodness, I've been on their board now for 3 years almost.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so now we're kind of giving it more visibility along with your well, on the website, frankly, on your Safe Harbor website, and
Mm-hmm.
trying to expose some of the things that you're involved in. You're kind of sneaky about that, Marie. If anybody doesn't know Marie well, she is not forthright with what she's doing for the community, and neither are some members of her family. I know some pretty amazing things as far as the hours that this family spends serving the community, and I don't even know how they do their life in some ways, but um, so Farmer Frog is an organization that has served tens of thousands of households, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't have the numbers on the top of my head, but I know that it's just amazing the number of Washingtonians that Farmer Frog has helped. And it's a collaboration of many organizations, but really it's just a powerful force. Kind of was a very interesting interview we had with Sophia and just what her organization is up to. So Farmer Frog, and I know you also partner with Landlord Liaison Program, which helps you help more people get into homes. So in the
Oh,
midst of the crisis, the homelessness has been worse, and Landlord Liaison Program has been very busy working with property owners like Marie to help them put people who are homeless into a home. So I know
mhm.
that's another thing that you do. So um,
And then
that's been,
also I work with properties that are called Project Section 8, which are
mhm.
HUD-owned properties. I have some properties in Seattle that I'm working with as far as that particular program, which also goes off of 30% of the income. So we're able to house the elderly and disabled in one of the buildings. And then the other building is also Project Section 8 and goes off of 30% of their income, which helps a lot.
So what do you mean it goes off of 30% of their income? They're
Well,
qualified
they
differently?
pre-qualify based on the median income of the city, and then based on their income, they have to meet that requirement. And based on their income, they pay 30% of their income for rent.
Interesting. Okay. Wow. So there's a lot there. There's a lot that you're doing, and it's just kind of part of your day to day, because you can't avoid running into people who are struggling to find homes in our counties, right? It's just,
Right.
and it's, I'm sure, a part of your day to day.
Mm-hmm.
Giving keys to people that can afford it and finding keys for people who can't. Kind of both sides of it. So, well,
Mm-hmm.
very good. So I just wanted to wrap up by talking a little bit about your website and what we've done as far as adding information to your site. We have added information about Farmer Frog to the partners area of Safe Harbor's website. So there is Farmer Frog, Landlord Liaison Program, and caring.com. And we also have upgraded the owner services section of the website so that instead of just seeing the basics of what we do for owners, you see in detail what we do for owners and residents, and a little bit about how you can actually move forward and work with Marie at Safe Harbor if you want to. So it's just a less cluttered presentation of some of the same information, some new information. And I think we also, what we're looking at doing on the homepage is just kind of a restructuring to help either an owner or a resident find the information they need quicker and easier. So that's kind of on the horizon. So yeah, so that's what's going on. I mean, I love working on the give back part, and obviously that's been a exciting thing for me. I love helping my clients give back more, but also just give visibility to what they are doing. So I think that's an opportunity, and it's good to give back, but giving back is also very good for your business. And I was speaking with someone else about how when you're giving back as part of what you do every day, when you run into crisis, you already have relationships with these community organizations that can help. So you're not, calling yourself and introducing yourself to the landlord liaison program when the pandemic hit. You already have that relationship, and you can pick up the phone and say, well, how else can we help? And I think the same with Farmer Frog. You already know Sophia, and you already work with her, and so you have that all greased and oiled, and you can help her in even a better way during a crisis. So I think it's a win-win to be affiliated with these organizations in the community. And obviously it's just a natural way of marketing what you do, and how you can help people on the commercial side. So anyway, that's what I have. Thanks for visiting with us today, Marie, and kind of giving us information about the market. I love that you are such a realist and that you always put out there the true story of, hey, it's great now, but we don't know that it's going to last. And I think that investors want to hear what's really going on. Nobody wants sugar-coated. Nobody can make good decisions on sugar-coated information. So I think it's good that you're very forthright with that. And it's good to hear that you found some opportunity in the adversity, and it wasn't just all, it is a difficult time, but there's also advantages that you found in the virtual showing and the productivity, being able to work virtually, and have some, maybe accomplish more in some ways with your time than you did before the pandemic. So is everyone well in your family and on your team?
So far, so good. Everyone's well. Yes.
That's good. I'm glad to hear that. Well, it's good to see you. Always good to visit with you. And it'll be good to speak with you here next month to find out where that market is shifting. It'll be interesting to see kind of what do you think the indicators will be when the market shifts? What do you think that will be? You getting calls or seeing the MLS grow, or what will that be?
Well, perhaps seeing the MLS grow, but mainly probably seeing, when those first foreclosures hit, that's definitely an indicator there, and then, we'll just keep our eyes open to see what's going to happen, what the governor's going to do, or, what's going to happen as far as that goes. We really don't know.
Right. It's hard to say what will happen, and hopefully we'll weather through it somehow. So anyway, well, thanks, Marie. It was good to see you and speak with you, and we'll be speaking to you again next month.